What's the difference in the mindset of like you hang out with billionaires and 100 millionaires? What's the difference in mindset of how those guys made their money and somebody like me that's not there yet? You know, like what's the difference?
I mean, greed probably. You know, like just I mean, in order to get to $1 billion, you have to like. I mean, there's a few factors. Like unless you like hit the lottery or some shit, like you have to really.
There's
really
a ruthlessness.
Well, yeah, you have to be super shrewd. You have to really fucking like want like infinite amounts of money. You have to, because I mean, most people they make like a couple $100 million. So like I got 200-300 million. I got enough. Like I don't need to make no more money. I don't need to work. Like I got more than I can spend. You know what I mean? Like you have to really like want money to become like a billionaire and a billionaire multiple times over, like a lot of these guys. Because to me, it's like when I hit $1 billion, $2 billion, I'm out. Like I'm never gonna work another fucking day of my life. Like I'm not gonna do anything that I don't want to do for money ever, like ever again. I'm not gonna fucking take meetings. I'm not gonna fucking like network. I'm not gonna fucking do shit, nothing. Like I'm just gonna live my life and do whatever the fuck I want, which is similar to how I live now, but like occasionally I take meetings, right? None of those. But these guys, man, like they just have a different mindset. It's like they just want more and more and more. And I think it's true of like money, pussy, power. There's like a few things where they're like black holes where like if that's your focus and that's what you want, like you're gonna just go down that road. There's no end to it. You know?
Well, it's like what you said about the OnlyFans. Like, fuck, if I'm making 50,000, I want 70. You know, like I want like it. And you were really speaking Scott's language on that. You know.
Yeah. Well, because it's like because it's not hard work. Because there's a lot of people that work 18-hour days and they grind it out. It's like there's got to be a different like.
Well, okay. Oh, you're talking about in that sense. So you're talking. Well, I mean, I don't know anything about you. I don't know what you do. But if you're saying like compared to a normal guy, what's the difference?
Yeah.
A normal guy is focused on basic needs met. A normal guy is like, oh, I want this fucking badass motorcycle. Like they're thinking like small ball. They're thinking like, okay, what do I got to do to get this motorcycle? Like when I look at business, I'm like, how can I make the most amount of money in the least amount of time possible? Like my goal is to make money. I'm not there to fucking enjoy my job. I'm not finding something that I like to do. I want to make the most money in the shortest period of time possible and then focus the rest of my life on doing the shit I want to do and not have to fucking answer to anybody, not have to take shit from anybody. That's my goal with money. So I look at it differently. You know, I've got friends that are like, regular blue collar guys, and they like, they're like, okay, like I want to open this gym because I like working out, and I'm just like, that's not scalable. Like, well, what you're trying to do, like this guy want to build like small houses or like, I'm just like the shit you're trying to do is not scalable. Like you want to focus on a business that you can franchise, you can scale, like something that you can like have a home run, but that you can also make like good money. It's like you want to have like a bunch of sticks in the fire. You want to have that home run possibility. You want to have the sure money. Like I just look at it much more analytical, and a lot of these people are, focused on like putting food on the table and like, it's just a different thought process, and like also you have to have like a strong like ability to take risk. Like a lot of people are not nearly fucking like capable of taking the kind of risk that a lot of these billionaires take. I know billionaires that go broke. And it doesn't surprise me. Like it surprises a lot of people, but it doesn't surprise me because in order to have that mentality of like, I want more, 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 you have to constantly be overreaching. So it's like for these guys, like Andy Beal, I mean, I think the guy lost like $4 billion shorting Tesla or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, and I've seen guys like, and he was almost like considering going all the way. And if he would have gone all the way, I think he might have gone broke. And so it's like, to me, like once you have $1 billion, you should literally never go broke. Like you should, okay, go gamble with 100 million. Like, you want to make more money, fine. Like, take a piece and just like, risk that. But like these guys will risk it all. And sometimes that's why they got where they got is because they're willing to fucking risk it all. Like a buddy of mine, he was worth $500 million. I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm like, just like he had like almost all of his money in this hedge fund, I'm just like, and he was running the hedge fund and he was like taking a lot of risk. He's a natural gas trader. And I'm just like, bro, like stop. Like you're getting a 30% free roll on everybody's money that's in the funds. You still have fucking upside. Like what's the difference in your life quality if you go from 500 million to $1 billion? Not much. Now you can own the yacht or maybe have a bigger yacht, but if you rent it, you're still on the same fucking yacht the same amount of time. Like your lifestyle doesn't really change that much. But if you cut in half or you lose, 400 million, your life changes a little bit. It's like the analogy I give in poker. It's like if you've got $100 million and some guy in poker says, I'll give you 10-to-1 odds and I'll flip you a quarter for that fucking $100 million. So I'll give you $1 billion if you win. or if you lose, you go broke. You never take that flip. Like, anybody who takes that flip's a fucking idiot. And most times in life, you're not getting 10 to 1 odds on your fucking money. So, like, once you get to a certain level of wealth, like, you shouldn't be taking big risks with your money. You know, there's a lot of ways to have possible home runs, you know, with like some seed capital and a startup or whatever, where you're not risking like all your fucking money. So, like, I think a lot of people just think about it wrong, you know, and they take risks unnecessarily.
Hustler Academy over here, dude.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, it's important, like, because you have to understand, like, the incremental difference between having 700 million and having $1 billion is not much. But, like, you know, or 500 million to 700, it's like your life doesn't change that much. But, like, when you start going the other way, your life starts changing. You start working. I mean, depending on, like, how spread out you are, because a lot of these guys are spread out. Like, I mean, I own a plane. I pay $3 million a year just for my fucking plane, you know? So, like, people have, like, you know, nuts, you know what I mean? Like, there's, like, costs that you have to cover. You got 5 houses. You got, I mean, I got 27 staff members. You know what I mean? Floyd's got 360 people on the payroll. So it's like, it depends on like how big your operation is, but like, as you get more wealth and as you get more properties, you have to have people take care of the properties. There's all this shit, right? So like, it scales. And so I don't know. It's probably a fucking long-winded answer.
No, I love it. And
it's epic, dude. Thank you for that.
It's epic, and I'm asking because like I've always had this idea of like it's all perception, and so like I always wanted to write a book anonymous, and then have like I would ask you, hey, give me a 1-pager of what your idea about money is, and then you would write a page about it. It wouldn't even be what your name is, but at the bottom would be what your net worth was, and then the next person. So you get like a poor person, you get a rich person, you get all different varying degrees of it, because some people are like, man, money's the root of all evil, it's this, is that. It's like, well, they probably don't have money. Or is that accurate?
I mean, so I've got different theories on that too. I mean, basically the way I look at it is, you know, a lot of people equate money to happiness, and it's not. It's more freedom. And I think money brings happiness and pleasure as you go up. But what people don't understand is, like, once you have basic needs met, you don't get incremental happiness for more money. You do for a short period of time. Like, if you're a $100,000 a year guy and I bump you to 200,000, you're going to be happy, but that's not going to last. You're going to get used to 200,000. I mean, it's stripper mentality, right? Like, a stripper makes $10,000, she spends $10,000, and now all of a sudden her baseline, what she's used to, what she's, you know, like, the baseline doesn't bring you happiness, right? A baseline is 0. You can go up to 10, you can go down to -10, but let's just set that the baseline is 0. Or you want to set a baseline of 5 and the top is 10 and the bottom 0, whatever. The point is, wherever you are in your baseline, that doesn't bring you happiness. My problem is, you know, and a lot of rich people, their baseline is a fucking 10. So, like, there's nothing that I buy that brings me happiness. I bought a Ferrari. I wasn't happy for more than 24 hours. Put 100 miles on the fucking thing in a year and got rid of it. You know, like, I just didn't care. But when I was younger, that would have brought me to a fucking 10. The difference was my baseline when I was younger was a fucking 3 or a 4. You know, when I was in the military, it's probably a fucking 1. You know what I mean? Like, making $860 a month. So, like, depending on where your baseline is, you have a lot more, you know, leeway to go up. And if you're making $860 a fucking month, you don't really have very far to fucking go down. So the thing is, like, when you get used to a high level of wealth, and now, like, every car that you drive is a, you know, fucking Mercedes or a Rolls or whatever the fuck ever, then, like, when you go and rent a car from Hertz, it's always a fucking letdown. You know, if, like, you're staying in a fucking, you know, $30-40 million house, and you go out and you rent a house, it better be a pretty fucking baller house, or it's going to be a letdown. Like, when I travel, I got to bring all my staff members, chefs, assistants, fucking all this shit, you know, so that I can, like, semi-maintain the, like, what I'm accustomed to, or else it's kind of a letdown. Like, you know, so it's, you know, it sounds cool and whatever, but sometimes, like, you know, it's a blessing and a curse. You know, when you're used to this level, then all these things are letdowns. So it's like, that's why I think a lot of, like, rich people are unhappy, is because, you know, like, a normal guy look at a rich guy and be like, oh, well, this motherfucker's driving a Lamborghini, he's got the hot bitch, he's, you know, eating the fucking good steak. Like, how could he not be happy? Because to him, if he were to step into those shoes, that would immediately make him happy. But this guy's used to all that shit. So when this guy doesn't get a perfect steak, or his fucking bitch is an 8 instead of a 10, he's like, what the fuck, you know? And so, and most people look at that and be like, oh, that dude's unappreciative, or he, you know, blah, 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 like, you know. But no, he's just used to that shit, you know? And it's like, he's had that for so long that that's what he's used to, you know? And so, I think perception is the big thing. That what I want to do when I become a billionaire is go work at Walmart for 3 months and have like a full reset. Not Walmart, I probably work construction, but like whatever the fuck it is, like $100,000 a year job, basic needs met, but like a massive fucking like change in life, right? And then you get used to that. Just like when I got out of boot camp, man, I was like happy to go to fucking, you know, Outback Steakhouse. That was a 10 for me. You know, getting 8 hours of sleep was a motherfucking 10. You know, there's like a lot of things where it was like after boot camp, man, like basic shit, like somebody not screaming at me all motherfucking day was nice. You know what I mean? Like, so it's all perspective. You get out of a concentration camp, you're gonna be fucking happy about a lot of shit, you know? So it's like a lot of these people bitch that their fucking life sucks and this and that, but it's like, it's all relative. Like if you're used to, you know, a shitty life, then a lot of things are going to give you these pleasure spikes. I can't get pleasure spikes anymore. I fuck a hot bitch, it's whatever. You know what I mean? I get a badass car, it's whatever. You know what I mean? Like I eat a great meal, satisfies me, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm not getting those pleasure spikes. And for a guy that like has been seeking pleasure for so long, it's kind of shitty. And I compared it in the book. It's like being a drug addict, you know? It's like you take a you know, being a pleasure seeker is like being a drug addict. You take a Percocet, makes you feel good. You know, now 2 weeks later, you got to take 2 Percocets to get the same feeling. 3 weeks later, you're taking 3, 4, 5, and then eventually you're taking them just to not feel like shit, and you don't get high anymore. Same thing with pleasure.
So what gets you high now? Big hands of poker?
No, I mean, there's just not a lot. You know what I mean? So really the answer is you got to like focus on happiness and not pleasure, because pleasure is like fleeting, and pleasure is one of those things where it's like, it's a black hole, you know?
So what makes you happy?
Oh, fuck. Surfing, doing mushrooms, hanging with my friends, you know what I mean? Like this shit that doesn't cost money, to be honest with you. You know, it's kind of funny, but like, yeah, the stuff that like you really will get happiness from. I know it's like cliche, but doesn't fucking cost money. I got fucking all the money, you know what I mean? I've done all the shit, like, you know what I mean? Fucking, but it's, you know, the stuff that doesn't really cost money is the shit that makes me happy. And so,
do you like shopping on Amazon? I do. And good news is Steve-O's butt wipes for your butthole are available on Amazon. And if you want a real bundle of a deal, you can get Steve-O's hot sauce for your butthole, plus Steve-O's butthole destroyer, and Steve-O's butt wipes for your butthole. It's the butthole bundle, available on Amazon right now.
Yeah, dude.